well. Now just get in maybe 2 rows in front of me. And all right. And we're going to dance in a block like this up there. I've decided that's going to be most effective.
At the pit?
Yeah, rather than a big long line, we'll be in a block.
Okay, so
And
maybe, yeah. More like water.
More like water.
More like the pit.
More like the pit.
Now I'll go over the first verse. And I think it's
Oh, I think it was at least more than 5 years ago I started thinking about doing hula at the Berkeley Pit. And at first I thought this was where I wanted to do it, at the viewing stand. And I imagined that I could talk a few people into doing it with me. And I realized if I, got 15 or 20 people to come out and dance with me, that then there wouldn't be any room for the spectators. So then I started thinking about other places on the rim of the pit to dance. It inspires you to think big.
The Berkeley Pit started in 1955 with a large truck-operated open-pit copper mine until mining ceased in 1982. By 1980, nearly 1.5 billion tons of material had been removed from the pit, including more than 290 million tons of copper ore. The pit is 7,000 feet long, 5,600 feet wide, and 1,800 feet deep from the high wall on the north side. During underground mining, water from the mine shafts was pumped to the surface. When Anaconda shut down its underground operations in 1982, the pumping system was abandoned. Groundwater began to rise through the several thousand miles of interconnected tunnels, honeycombing the Butte Hill, and began seeping into the pit. The pit water is acidic due to the contact of the water with mineralized ore zones. In April, a Montana Tech student found bugs living in the pit, which was a real breakthrough.
It's easy to keep talking about the water in the pit, but actually it's not water anymore. It is acid. It has a pH of between 2 and 2.5, which is, I think, in the range of battery acid. So it's not water anymore. This is my studio. We're in this 7th floor of the Metals Bank building in Butte, Montana. And it was my painting studio for 12 years. It overlooks the Berkeley Pit, which is about, 8 blocks that way. Over the 12 years that I lived here and worked in this painting studio, I watched the waters rise and become more and more acidic. And in response to that, I did a painting of the pit with the waters in the bottom. And I looked into that abyss for all those years, and it really became beautiful to me. And also, I knew it was something that was going to have to, this community was going to have to galvanize around in order to save itself, because it was a really big piece of pollution that was persistent and threatened water. Well, the other
thing that I do besides paint is I dance hula. Sometimes just if music was coming on over the radio that sounded sort of Hawaiian-ish, I would just get up and dance a hula. And one day I was listening actually to KUFM, and I heard the song Cool Clear Water, which is a classic Western song by the Sons of the Pioneers. But this time it was sung by Joni Mitchell and Willie Nelson, and the arrangement was incredibly Hawaiian. And so I heard it as hula, and I started dancing to the song Cool Clear Water. And because I would look out these windows at the pit and see the water rising, one day I just made the connection between that song and how it was really appropriate to what was happening here in Butte. And the first lines of the song are, "All day I face the barren waste without the taste of water." About 2 years after that, I went to Hawaii for the first time. And I saw hula as a sacred dance. I knew it was, but I actually saw it performed by native people doing their form of embodied prayer and celebrating and praising creation. And after I saw these world-class hula halaus performing, I was totally undone by the beauty of it. And after the last day of the Hula Festival in Hilo, I went up to the Volcano National Park. I didn't know why I was going, but somehow I was drawn to go there. And I got in my rental car, drove the 30 miles, got to Volcano National Park, drove in the parking lot, opened the door. It was like a magnet pulling me out of the car, and I just walked across the parking lot through the visitor center out onto this observation deck. And I was looking into the caldera of the volcano. And it looked exactly like the same geometry of the Berkeley pit. And it had the same devastation and the same magnitude, but it was made by nature, and this was man-made. But it was like I knew this place in my bones. And the thing was that the caldera is a sacred place for the Hawaiian people. And there were flowers and offerings at the edge that different halaus had left there to get the blessings of Pele. And I suddenly knew that there was this great connection between the caldera and the pit, and that the pit could also be viewed as a sacred place. And then another year went by, and I started talking about hula and doing this dance. And one day I saw the Montana Women's Chorus, and I heard them singing, and I went, these are the people who are going to sing Cool Clear Water for me. And I went up to the director, Judy Fiel, and I told her my idea, and she said, yes, let's do it.
Well, I think Christy came to me at chorus one night and told me that she was going to organize something about a hula at the Berkeley Pit in Butte, and asked if I wanted to be involved, and I immediately said yes. I didn't have any reservations. I didn't know what she was doing, but it seemed like a great idea. So it fits in with, it ended up fitting in with the kind of work that I do, which is empowering people through art. And I mostly do it through music. I do it by helping particularly women come into their voices. Once I committed to it, it was like, yep, I want to do the press releases right. I want to get the word out to all the chorus. I want this thing to be organized and big, partly because I feel like there are a lot of people who just do not understand what the immensity is of it as a Superfund site.
Mm-hmm.
And they really don't know. A lot of people in Montana don't know. And I wanted them to know. And what a beautiful way to do it, to have these dancers just drawing attention to something that's there as a disaster every day.
And I knew it was really important to get people on location, to do it there, not to do it in a theater or in a museum or in a park. And I knew it was important to do it at the site.
A lot of the people who danced had never been that close to the Berkeley Pit. I mean, it's not exactly something that people go to on a vacation, you know.
Some people do.
Some people do, but it's, you know, a lot of times we want to avert our eyes from the destruction that we have wrought on the planet. And it's something to be there close, to stand on the brink.
In April, I set up a rehearsal schedule for the next 3 months. It was terrifying because I knew there was no turning back.
Okay, Christy, here we go. Cool water.
What got to me was that everyone was so willing to do something they'd never done before. And I realized that all of us who came to dance were crossing into new territory.
Well, Dan and I, with throats turned dry and souls dry.
Good evening. This is Margaret Kingsland in the KUFM studios in a wonderfully interesting conversation with Christy Hager, who is an artist in Missoula, who is also the choreographer and producer of an art action which will be taking place in Butte at the Berkeley Pit. It's called the Cool Water Hula. This is a participatory event, and citizens who hear of it and who would like to rehearse for the hula are welcome to do so at public rehearsals in Missoula, Butte, and Helena. This is an art action which will also include the Montana Women's Chorus, and the title of it is the Cool Water Hula.
And Judy has been so enthusiastic, and actually it was her model of rehearsing women in Missoula, Helena, Bozeman, 3 different chapters of the women's chorus.
Oh.
It was a model for me to realize that I could teach women the hula in 3 different cities, and now in 4 different cities, because of course Butte was my primary concern, to have participants from Butte, that I could do this. And I was able to use the structure of the women's chorus to get that rolling in April, and just it just means so much to have that support.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's how it started becoming a reality from an idea I had.
Now we should start. I think what we'll do is just go through the song.
So there they were, the 3 girls out there doing the cat calls and, you know, mimicking us, and, you know, just, they were bad. So at some point I went over and talked to them and asked them if they wanted to join us.
She just offered them the chance to be part of it. Said, just show up tomorrow morning here, and, you know, and they did. then they showed up on Sunday morning, and they practiced with us, and they came up and danced up at the mine site, and so it was incredible. I just was thinking about transformation. You know, I don't know what difference this will make in those girls' lives, but they clearly saw something that was very attractive to them that they wanted to do.
I had a lot of women in the chorus comment how powerful that was for them to see these girls be transformed by art.
It's a tradition before they perform a serious hula. It was recommended to me by a woman from Hawaii that we do this, but she said, since you can't jump in the ocean, and no one's going to jump in the pit, that we just sprinkle some water on our hands and feet before we dance. And that when each person did this, each person would take a moment to ask themselves why they're doing the dance, and then carry that intention with them.
So girls, are we getting ready for the hula?
Yes, we're going to go doo, 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 doo.
Who knew hula took such attention to detail?
He's a devil, not a man, and he spreads the burning sands with
Water.
Just go down and get the main drag, take a left.
and waste without a taste.
That first verse is a bitch.
Remember?
Okay, the nights. Here it is. See? The nights. Oh, and it's not supposed to be in front of your face. The nights are cool.
None of us.
And I'm a fool. Each star's a pool of water. Oh, and then you just go for water. And then, oh, Dan and I just real slow, our throats burn dry.
Where's Judy?
Then nights are cool, and with the dawn, so we won't last long. The shadows sway. The shadows sway, they seem to say, tonight we pray for water.
Oh, does that like that?
I think we got it, boys and girls, huh?
I got up there and I just saw this long line of people going down the road and into the site and up to that big head frame. And they just walked out there and just felt like this is, and it was effortless. It just felt effortless.
Take a moment to ask yourself why you came here today, and to honor this place and the place inside you that got you here. And the word for today is Yahula.
When a man named McMahon came to this area shortly after the 1864 gold rush, and he saw this valley, he thought that the creek was so beautiful, it looked like little silver bows. And that's where the name of this county came from. And so my intention today is to bring the silver bows back into this space, somehow or another. So thank you for being here today.
We were just walking to get in place.
Oh, okay.
With our backs to the pit. So I was toward the back, and I saw this line of human beings in white and blue against the skyline. It was so beautiful.
That in itself was a conscious time for us to look and say, you know, this is what this is about. And I don't know, there's not a lot that needs to be said once you see it. How'd it go?
Perfect.
Was it perfect?
It was perfect. Yeah.
Oh, good. I can't even see you with these glasses on.
Yeah.
Are you totally happy?
I'm totally happy.
That's great. Why'd you come here, Andrea?
You're on. Well, sister, as long as you ask. No, I came here because I thought it was one of the most inspired events I had heard about. It's always a lot of fun, and I truly believe that water is the most important resource we have. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, honey. Do you think this was pretty successful in what it was trying to put across?
Oh yeah, very successful.
All right.
It kind of made the hair on your arms and back stand up.
All right.
Yeah. I was teared up. Yeah.
I came because, first, I mean, the connection is with women, and I know a lot of these women, And I believe in the powerful, spiritual, mysterious way that things heal. And even though it might seem strange and unscientific, I have hope in the healing process. So that's why I'm here.
Well, it sounded like a lot of fun. And I think that a lot of science has to go into cleaning up our polluted waters, but also we need heart in that as well. Heart and music and poetry and song and dance, and that's what this was all about.
I am happy to be here because I have a deep concern for the planet and for restoring clean water. And I have admired the way this group has thought it out and planned it and made it very respectful, full of a blessing. And I see a good future coming from this. Thanks for asking.
It was such an off-the-wall concept. You know, when do you do the Hula? Is it 6,000 feet? You know, at the Berkeley pit. It's like,
well, you know, I'm going to put this on tape. We don't have to use it. But I woke up the other day. Actually, I was walking somewhere, and I went, you know, Christy, I think you're probably the only person in the world who would have thought of this. And not so much because that makes me so, you know, special, as just that there probably isn't anybody else who got really taken by Hula, moved to Montana, had a studio overlooking the Berkeley pit, watched the water rise, loved country western music. I mean, this is a combination that I thought it probably aren't that many people that have had that combination going. And so I thought part of the reason it was such a strange idea was it just came out of all these contradictory parts of myself, and I thought, well,
maybe contradictory, maybe complementary, just
yeah,
eclectic,
yeah. And somehow I realized this idea is sort of bigger than all my eclecticism, but somehow it came through me, and that everything I've experienced in my life, you know, like my mother saying, extricate yourself with slow, undulating motions, that everything was relevant. Everything in my life suddenly became relevant to this project, and it was this very funny feeling. Singing and moving rhythmically together creates an instant sense of community.
What we wanted was something that is positive, it's beautiful, and it is drawing attention without pointing fingers or expressing despair. The main thing was what I said about just that the act itself lived with people for a while. It gave a sense of relief, a sense of acknowledgement, and I think that's why people came to dance. People really have gotten out of touch with creation from a really human level. It's the human process of how funky it really is all taken out of it. So I think at this point, most people have a very skewed perception of what art is. They see art as finished product. If people are taught culturally to spend their energy and their time creating, it's my belief that we spend way less time consuming. So on a deeper level, the more involved we are with creativity, the easier we are on the planet.
I came because, well, Christy's a very good friend, and I believe friends support friends and what they do. And so that was another reason I came. And because I know a bunch of the people. And people with great looking toenails. Yeah.
It's exciting to see art, which is in your head, go to three-dimensional reality in such a positive way.
I just love the hula.
Every time she calls us, I'm going to try to be there.
I probably didn't even know why I was here till we were dancing. And then I realized that this was a very moving thing that we were doing, reminding people that the earth is our responsibility and we hope we can do something for it.